that we have everyone gathered. I want to thank you all for being here. It very much does mean a lot that I get a chance to play and take a step into the worlds of the imaginary and, enjoy a little time with the chaos, drama, and all of the pernicious evil you all can and do wreak upon the world. Tonight's episode is actually titled Of Yesterday. And there were several plans afoot and several scenes that had been laid out. We're going to be a little more improvisational with the flow of things, predominantly because this has become the funeral and last moments of Everett Yeager. He has decided to leave our troupe, and we wish him luck and all that good stuff. But this is, for the record, In the Shadow of the White City, Season 2, Episode 5, Of Yesterday. When we last left our troupe, Dia, David, Dami had arrived to an out-of-the-way place following a caravan of speeding, siren-laden SUVs to what could at best be described as chaos-giving vent. Everett Yeager has torn through a steel garage door, rushing into the street, a mindless mass of frenzied hunger. He is literally his beast given flesh, given form, given opportunity to act without any of his natural, normal compunctions. For those of you who had been aware, at this exact same scene, at this moment, on top of a roof of one of the warehouses of which Everett had flown from, is Abner, crossbow in hand, one bolt having already been fired and lancing through Everett's left side, the other being cranked and racked as you all take in the sight of several Knights of St. Judas converging on Everett, attempting to find out where the crossbow boat came from and trying to save the humans and the kind that are floating in the area around you. Because even as dark as the night, humans got things to do. There are trips to the store to be made. There are trips to work. There are second shift workers who are leaving work or heading to work. There are people moving about the street. In other words, it is not as quiet or late in the evening where the scarcity of humankind would make this far less despicable if Everett has his opportunities to feed. There's no way that this is not very much a breach of the masquerade. There is no way that this is not a scene where you're sure it's going to end up on WorldStar. And as Dami lay suppressing fire and David wields his gun and knife and attempts to, and Dia has erected an aura of fear about them, we pick up mid-scene as Everett is barreling into a crowd of nearby humans. So, in alphabetical order, what is it that we are doing?
You said alphabetical order?
Yes.
Okay, just double checking. My priority is putting down the vampire who might be a threat right now. Trying to be non-lethal, but at the same time, spite is a thing, so... So basically, I'm gonna fire one of my last good, well, not my last. How many do I have left? Two more. I'm going to fire one of my other ranged stakes at Everett, trying to put him down for a little bit. Try not to kill him, but not off the table.
Okay, so are you aiming for to try to stake him, or just fire bolts until he stops moving?
I'm gonna try to stake him. By the way, out of character, I only just realized this, but I have been doing something wrong the entire time, and I am very sorry.
No, we're all only human. So you're going to, not a called shot, you're not aiming for the heart, but you're hoping that it hits the heart, or you're aiming for...
I'm hoping it hits the heart, but I'm not going to do a cold shot.
All right. Well, are you taking the time to? Well, not being as you're not really taking the time to aim. You're firing from the hip. Go ahead, roll that dexterity and firearm, and get that out the way. And while that's happening, sliding along, David, you see Everett.
Can composure work?
Are you taking the time to aim down the sight and ignore all of the chaos that is swarming around Everett and the knights?
Yes.
So you're not firing from the hip. Okay, so in that case, you're sighting during this point. Once we get around to Dami's action, then you can go ahead and roll composure and firearms.
Okay, just making sure.
David, Everett is a ravening beast. He is hunger given full vent. He is barreling into the crowd of nearby humans. There is also a slew, a gaggle even, of armed, tactically geared men in various levels of second and third line personal armor and machine guns and firearms chasing behind him, firing from the hip, firing on the move, that are attempting to take cover as Dami has been opening fire to try to force them back. What is it that you're doing?
I think my allies can keep the knights at bay. I'm going to try to run interference between Everett and the humans.
Okay.
Could I turn on hidden path and try to maybe put on like a full Nelson or something before it can notice me?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't want you to go ahead and waste that focus and energy to try to disappear from sight, because the moment you take any active action, it's going to fail either way. You can attempt to use the chaos and just appear out of the crowd to try to pull him away.
Okay.
That being the case, what we're going to do is something different for your. It is going to be a strength and brawl roll, but you will add your stealth to that roll.
Okay.
And while you rush into the crowd to save them from Everett, or more accurately, to save Everett from himself, because no matter how dismissive he is of most people, no matter how effete and forcefully charming as he can be, there is no coming back mentally from callously disregarding the lives of those around you and causing as much carnage as the average kindred can do in a situation like that, where they don't care how much harm they cause. There's no way that those people, that crowd of folks that he is wading into, will survive the contact. And while that's happening, you force as many people to take off, to start fleeing as possible. One of your charges, Miss Everett, one of the troop that was assigned to deliver the missive to the Anarchs of Riverdale, is wading into a crowd of humans. He is leaking vitae, he is snarling spittle to and fro, and there's nothing that could distract from the fact of what he is, and that is nothing mortal, nothing human, nothing humane. While all about him, just in his shadow, as it were, are several armed men with every intention of putting him down. They are, while not mindlessly spraying into the crowd, they are attempting to return fire as Dami has crouched behind the front wheel well and is laying suppressing fire. They're aiming at him and split focus aiming at Everett, which means the humans that he is wading into are also in their line of fire. What is it that Diaz?
And I've seen Abner pretty much just shoot at Everett.
Well, you see him. You see the stake sticking out. You see him hanging over the roof of the crossbow. Well, on the roof of the crossbow, aimed at Everett. It's clear that the attempt has been to stake Everett from a distance, which is a tricky shot, even up close. But it's clear that he has enough skill to at least hit him.
So I'm gonna like real quick look up in that direction, raise my hands, like what the F? Isn't he on our side? Kind of look, but refocus myself on the humans and kind of try to get their attention so that it's easier to separate the humans from Everett.
In a fear and stressful situation, that will require a considerably higher roll. It is possible, though not easily.
Would it be easier to get Everett's attention?
Oh no! It's you've seen a angry dog or a wolf or even a lion in the middle of a full-on hunting attack, foaming at the mouth, it all but tasting the nice soft innards of whatever it is that they're chasing. That's what is visibly weighing on Everett. You've seen Kindred Frenzy before, but this is a frenzy that is very much completely animalistic.
Well, crap. So yeah, I probably can't get the Knight's attention and get them to stop firing because you said they're mid-focus and the fear thing is going on. The people are running and scared, so that's not going to work. Everett's not going to work as far as attention goes. I mean, they're not really typically the physical sort, but I guess you gotta do what you gotta do. How close am I to Everett and the group that he's wading into?
About the same distance as give or take a step or two as David was to them. You can reach them all in the same breath, as it were. You guys are a little faster than one would expect. In Dia's case, does she have any additional dots in celerity?
Yeah, she has Cat's Grace.
Okay, so she's extraordinarily graceful and only slightly faster. So while not as skilled in regards to physicality, she is a little faster than the average person.
And if you're running at somebody,
the average Kindred,
and doing like a running tackle, it doesn't really matter how strong you are as long as you can hit them with enough force to take them down. That's what I'm going to do. She's going to get a running start and then put on a burst of speed and knock Everett to the ground. Or at least try to.
Okay. Dami, there is no way to say this except for you are back in an active, engaged zone. You know that with as many men as they have, they could actually overrun your position. Instead, they're taking up defensive positioning. They're returning fire to keep you focused and also aiming down Everett as he's running towards the group of humans to your left. But would you be so kind as to go ahead and roll your wits and firearm case?
All right, on it. Can't remember what my thirst was right now. Okay. Oh, I'm full. Cool. There we go.
Okay, the reason why that was necessary because as a former military man, as a trained SOF, there's only one reason why you wouldn't overrun an enemy's position. The exposure to harm of the unit is a factor, but the key factor for not overrunning a position, especially when you have them outgunned and outnumbered, is because you have a flanking team en route. So you're keeping them busy and keeping them focused so that you can take them down without any loss of life on your side. They're literally running a distraction op, which doesn't make sense considering it's just them here, but it would make sense if...
Yeah, I kind of pieced together they probably have reinforcements coming this way, so it's probably best if we start falling back, which is kind of what I'm going to start moving towards instead of pressing the advantage. I'm going to call out to hopefully David and Dia get the hint. I'm going to call out and say, fall back. Really, the idea is that hopefully, if we're lucky, David will be able to work his way back to the cab of the Hellcat and get the engine started. I can possibly cover Dia until she comes back past me. And maybe if we're lucky, Abner will get off the top of the thing and we can get out of here.
Okay, so your action is just to yell for everyone to get back?
Also to reload, which is kind of a passive action. If I'm actually, depending on how low I'm in, because I was actually taking short burst shots, so like 3 round bursts. So I should be hopefully either I still have half a clip left, or I'm probably going to be needing to reload, and since I only have 2 clips with me, fall back seems like the best option.
Okay. So you all hear that, him yelling, fall back. Well, you hear Dominic yelling back as his, the sound of his firearm, the sound of his long gun goes a little silent as he flips the clip. And while he's flipping the clip, you hear as much stated of a call to fall back, and you fire, having spent the time to actually aim down your sight. Would you be so kind as to go ahead and make that roll, Abner?
4 successes.
Okay, so several things happen at once, as they always do in these situations. All actions are planned. You all take those steps to do so, and in the midst of this being done, Dia, would you be so kind of, I didn't get you to roll, would you be so kind as to roll your dexterity, brawl, and celerity for me, please?
No problem, because you hadn't asked me for it, but yeah, I'll do it. Give me a second. 1, 2, 3. Dexterity, brawl, and what? Celerity?
By the way,
Celerity, yes.
By the way, Storyteller, my crossbow's a +2 for purposes of damage.
Yes. that excuse me, that is quite a strange occurrence. I don't know if you all noticed. So with everything happening as it happens, in course of what takes place, Everett has a clear manual labeled blue-collar gentleman by the arm, dragging him into his mouth, and with all due focus. So focused is the being that is inhabiting Everett in regards to feeding the crossbow that catches him in the throat has no immediate effect except for stopping the arm from making into the throat, as there is a dawning of realization that it will not be able to feed without removing the impediment. David is there, taking Everett up and back away from the human, still in his hands, and then Dia hits both David and Everett, driving them to the ground away from the humans. This is a, strangely enough, salvation, as the bullets from the Knights of St. Judas tear through the space where they were. In their firing, in their spray, even as skilled as they are, there are too many humans pressed too closely to not be clipped, to not be driven to the ground, to not be hit, as their target, which was there a few seconds before, is suddenly not. Sprawled on the ground, held in David's grip, Everett continues attempting to fight free. The beast that is Everett is not relenting. It has not received enough damage to go completely still. And unfortunately, as damaged as it is, if it goes completely still, you are sure that there will be nothing to save. You are sure that you will be holding a pile of dust. You are sure, David, that this is the last opportunity you will have to attempt to save Everett. And then things go sideways. You will hear the sound, David and Dia, as close as you are, of flesh tearing. You are close enough to scent the air as all around you is splattered in a spray of pinkish red mist. Abner, from your position on the roof, you are absolutely abhorred as the Knights of St. Judas, their bullets tear through the space, knocking several humans to the ground, and the last human standing, strangely enough, as the soft whip double tap of bullets tears through their flesh as they rip out of their flesh in one fell swoop. There's not the calm cartoon light shifting of the flesh or magical aura that takes over. No, there are clawed hands tearing the chest open as this huge bear-sized wolf takes a step forward towards David, Everett, and whoever the young lady is the young feminine figure that has taken down Everett. Dami, you've seen such a thing. You and David saw a thing up close being tortured by Prince Decker. To see it loose, to see it unbarred, to see it not in a dying moment, something that you hope to never experience. Because here in the flesh, in all due majesty and horror, is that very self-same thing. It's black fur streaked with blood and bits of skin as it tears free of its binding illusionary flesh. And yes, go on.
I was just going to ask, just double checking to make sure I'm not going crazy. This is a lupine, correct?
That would be a fair assumption. Yes, very much so.
Okay, so continue describing. I'm sorry for interrupting.
No, not a problem. The Knights of St. Judas, who were prepared to give their life, or at least give the impression of giving their lives in the service to their God and their cause and their goal, they blanch a little as they realize what it is that is there. The hell beast given form that is actually there. They've had to deal with the ramifications, the after effects, but seeing one change in front of them is another matter. So, being as it is of key importance, what order we are moving in, and remember, inaction is an action. We are going to keep our alphabetic order, so you have an opportunity to declare what action we're going to move on, okay?
Abner, at this point, has only seen reports of these fuckers. So he's seeing one now is just terrifying to him. So he immediately says out, "If you want to live, run!" And then I book it.
Okay. David.
Peerless leader right here.
David, you see this coming towards you. What is it that you're doing?
David probably would freeze realistically.
Okay.
Not knowing what is even in front of him. He maybe try to pull out his pistol from his pocket and let off shots before the thing runs him down.
All right. Dia.
Well, whether I've seen one of these or not, I'm pretty sure I would know they exist as long as I've been around. So I already know it's a problem. And I am going to roll off of Everett now that I've gotten him to the ground. And very carefully, but as quickly as I can manage, make my way backwards towards the car.
Dami.
Yeah, this is lovely. So Dia's heading towards me, or past me as best I can tell, right?
Towards you, yeah, because that's where the car is.
Okay. I'm going to have a whole lot of faith that I'm going to be hearing that Hellcat purr in a second. I'm going to start moving as quickly as I can towards the door so that I can get in. I'm going to leave it open, and I'm going to try to hold back the clip. So I'm not going to spray it, but I'm going to hope like hell that he is coming towards us to get in the car, and David is starting the car, and I'm going to start aiming to put that beast down if I have to spare a few seconds. But I'm not going to get in the car. I'm just going to kind of open it because I know where it is by feel. So I'm going to walk backwards towards the car. When I get there, I'm going to hope that door is either I find the handle so I can get in, and we're going to run like hell. Otherwise, we're going to all pretty much die.
All right. Well, sneaking back to the car, we'll go ahead and use your dexterity and athletics for me. Give me a roll. Dia, would you be so kind as to go ahead and roll your dexterity, athletics, add your celerity? David, would you be so kind as to go ahead and firing from the hip? Would you be so kind as to go ahead and roll your dexterity and firearms? Abner, there's no real roll necessary, but when you say you're fleeing, which direction are you fleeing in? Are you moving toward the car?
I'm going to try to do a U-turn kind of thing. I'm going to back up a little bit to where I'm out of sight because that's a fucking werewolf. That thing is terrifying, and it can easily take us all out at once. So I'm basically doing a tactical retreat at this point and going to try to meet up with the group as they are fleeing in the truck. I hope they're fleeing in the truck is what I'm hoping.
Oh yeah, no, that's not an option. The truck is not even there. It is Dami's Hellcat, which is a nice car.
You know what I meant. I'm sorry.
No, I wanted to make sure that so that you wouldn't think to leap off the building into the back of the truck that's not there. You'll be crashing through the back windshield if that's an option. You just kind of go ahead and roll your dexterity and athletics. There is a threshold that I'm looking for, but not only because of speed and various details that are happening all at once.
Well, I'm going to do something that I usually try not to do, but I'm going to use my willpower because I got 0 successes out of 6 dice, which is impossible.
No, it's improbable. It is not impossible.
I got 2 successes.
There it goes. It actually worked for once.
Well, I couldn't actually get any worse than that.
Fair enough.
All right, so there is a significantly piss poor steps of operation. There's the worst case scenario, and then there's what this is. David, from a Soviet style on his back, firing prostrate position, fires from his hip. The bullets meet the hoary, blood-soaked black fur and disappear into the mass of this creature. Unfortunately, this creature is already angry, is already attempting to go on the offense. The Knights of St. Judas have concentrated their fire against it, and the worst thing that you can imagine happening in front of your eyes, David, because you're literally looking up from a prostrate position as the werewolf moves forward. It snatches at you. The only thing keeping it from snatching through you is the fact that Everett is there and latches onto its forearm, causing a howl of pain and frustration to echo from its deep bass-like lungs. As Everett does so, seeking only to feed, to consume, to absorb the world around him, the lupine is seeking to counteract that and all of this harm and damage and evil that it sees. It holds him in front of itself as the bullets from the Knights of St. Judas ricochet off the ground near you, tear through its legs, tear through its chest, and it tears Everett in half as it leaps towards the massive armed men still firing at it. Those of you who have had 4 successes or more are also immediately aware that the men firing at it, while they're concentrating their fire, would be better served stuffing those barrels into their own mouths. It is a blur of savagery. And worse yet, you realize that they are not the only people aiming or firing at this mass of muscle, fur, and anger. No, anger is too soft. This is fury, righteous rage given form. And the approaching, closing vehicles with men hanging out of it, firing at it, are as successful as one would be throwing rocks at a flying, passing by plane. You will have one action to escape, because it is going to tear through these men in the blur of motion and ferocity. Dami, backing up to the car, you slip in the slick, unnoticed blood, but catch yourself. You don't go down, you don't any steps, but unfortunately you don't have the driver's door open. Dia, you are at the Hellcat, but a
Passenger door. He was hoping that David would be at the driver's door, so he's actually going for the passenger door.
Dia, you are at the Hellcat, and unfortunately you are not the driver. You don't have the keys. You see David's life spared simply because he is not the most damaging thing as it steps over him, immediately assaulting the unit of armed, previously thought to be skilled agents of war that were firing at it. David, there was an old movie where these kids found out that their neighbors were monsters, and there's a scene where they yell out, "The wolf man has nards," and you realize that this is a wolf man, not just a lupine. And there's a lupine male. As it steps over your head, your bullets having torn into it and seemingly disappeared in that mass of already blood-soaked fur.
I'm in like absolute awe at this monster, barely knowing what to do.
Abner, with the Overwatch, sorry, Dave.
Oh, sorry. I was done.
Abner, with the Overwatch, you are able to catch glimpse inside of that as you make a U-turn moving in front of the warehouse and make that leap or climb down. What is it that you're doing?
After I quickly send a quick text, I try to text David. Hopefully he's just trying to escape. I say, what the fuck was that? As I'm trying to catch up at the same time. By the way, kids, if you're watching this, don't text and run. You will get hit by a car. Don't do what Abner does. It is a terrible idea. Jokes aside, I'm going to try to get to the Hellcat. One way or another.
Are you leaping or climbing down the building?
I'm going to risk it for a chocolate biscuit and risk the thousands of cuts that I'm definitely going to get. I'm going to leap down. This is going to hurt horrifically.
Okay. Simple strength athletics roll. While that roll is happening, David, you're still in shock a little, but there's a running theme for the life that he has managed to survive. Not live, not thrive, but the life he's managed to survive, and that is one of self-preservation.
Okay, so I have bad news.
Except in this instance, Biggs, he might just die.
Yeah. If it is one success after I had to use willpower, but if it is a failure, it is a bestial failure.
Yes. So with that running theme of your life, David, what is what is your action? You fired point blank into this creature and it's still moving. What is it that you're doing?
I think head out a bit, but David's going to try to shake it off, make himself real low to the ground, crawl over to the Hellcat.
Okay, so you're moving toward the Hellcat. I'm just going to go ahead and give composure and athletics roll to cover the ground amidst the flying bullets moving towards you and past you in seemingly both directions. Dear, you're at the Hellcat and you see far too much, unfortunately. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Being at the rearmost door of their Hellcat, looking over the hood towards the rack and ruin that was once Everett, David scrambling to his feet, heading in your direction. Bullets were flying from both east and west, crisscrossing across the field where David is, as well as the leaping, very real, hissing shadow of Abner as he comes flying off the roof. Fangs, beard, pinkish saliva flowing from his mouth as he snarls in preparation of feeding.
Well, this has been fun, you all. And they are going to get into the back of the Hellcat and get low as possible, just in case.
Okay. Well, that really doesn't require a roll. So as you slide into the Hellcat, allowing Abner to lead towards David to feed, Dami, there is bad, there is worse, and then there's what you are in right now. Cursing under your breath as you realize that David had not made it to the vehicle, you scan the field of battle and see that the bullets are flowing both east and west. They're literally crisscrossing the field from two different firing positions. The lupine has started tearing through that unit of men with all of the speed and strength of an angry tornado being held at bay by a toilet paper hexagon, a toilet paper hex field, a wall of soon-to-be corpses. And as David is scrambling to his feet, head on not the remotest of swivels, as he's coming to the realization that he survived the meeting a werewolf that wasn't chained, that wasn't tortured for months on end, making it through the field of bullets, and Abner is flying off the roof with a murderous glint to his eye.
How far is David from the Hellcat?
Close enough to see the whites of his eyes, far enough away where there's a very real opportunity that Abner will probably take him down like a lion does a gazelle.
I'm not quite sure why Abner would be chasing David at this moment, but I am going to try to get in the car. I'm saving my shells for needed, in case they're needed. I'm just going to try to get in the car, but not sit completely in it, like kind of one leg in on the floorboard and leaning against the body. And I'm hoping David gets the hint that he's driving.
Okay. It is 30 after the hour. Give me a quick second. Aaron just got home from work. So let's take a quick 10 and we'll be right back.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
So, let me get this straight. Abner's basically pouncing on me from the roof.
I assume that it's like a frenzy, despite not doing a frenzy check. But bestial failure is up for interpretation to whatever the storyteller decides is most appropriate, basically.
Basically, you lose control just for a little bit, right?
No, I don't know what kind of frenzy this could be, if it is a frenzy at all.
That's the reason why I didn't get in the car. If need be, Dom would just knock Abner unconscious and throw him in the trunk if need be. That's kind of what he's waiting on, just to see what the next move is. But, of course, as long as the lupine is, killing those guys, most of the dangerous situations is kind of out of the way.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It was mostly a passive action, not really because just in case whatever happens, he would kind of, be ready to go.
I can't believe NPC Everett saved David like that. For some reason attacks the lupine and not the much more easy prey, me.
It's probably the fact that it might be just a storyteller decision, but it could also be technically hunger frenzies going after human blood most of the time.
The lupine tastes better, right, in lore?
It depends on the vampire, but lore-wise and mechanic-wise, drink from a higher potency vampire or a werewolf. Either way, you can't go wrong.
In V20, it straight up gave you for like every point of I had a max of like I think 3. Every blood point could give you either a level of serenity or potence or animalism.
In this case, it actually does kind of work like that in this one.
I feel like exactly what it was.
Lupine blood mixes animal and caloric resonances, usually intensely.
Oh, it gives you that power boost to those associated disciplines, right?
It gives you a power boost, and if you have it as a clan discipline, or you already know it, it gives you a reason. It gives you an excuse to purchase more of disciplines related to those two.
I can't imagine being that close to a freaking 9-foot tall war machine lupine like right above your head.
I mean, it could be worse. I mean, it could be a whole of a lot worse.
It's kind of weird. It's a solo one.
I mean, werewolves have solo missions all the time. Maybe it was separated from its pack.
There's also the outcast, the Ronin, who would eventually join the worm.
Yeah. Also, here's an image of a werewolf from the core book. I actually extracted the image from the core book just now.
It's pretty cool art. So the few actual art too. They're just cosplayers and makeup.
I mean, I like the cosplayers and makeup thing. You have any idea how much of an art that is?
I don't know. I like older edition art much better.
I mean, that's fair. I can tell you that that's fair. But at the same time, cosplaying itself is an art. I can tell you that now. It's also an expensive art, so there's that.
That's what I kept hearing. Well, at least that's what I keep hearing, but I know very little about it, to be honest with you.
Keep hearing what?
Cosplaying is super expensive.
Oh, it's insane. If you actually do professional cosplay, the materials needed for it are insane. Just insane.
Yeah, I have a friend who actually does, and she tells me that she tells me about the things she orders, and I'm like, okay. And that's about as far as I take it, because I don't know enough about it to make a conscious or a actual statement that does sound insane.
I feel bad for freaking musicians. That shit's looks so expensive. But if you do like electronic music, all those devices are like in the $2,000 range at least.
At least.
Yeah.
The materials needed to make a lot of cosplay is just insane, so yeah. Plus side, it's good art. Because seriously, if you can... Because professional cosplay is insane. But a lot of people end up saying, oh, it's not real art because, well, it's, well, realistic, I guess? It's the same way that a lot of people don't see photography as an art. It is. Does that make sense?
Yeah, a lot of people say like, oh, you must have a really good camera.
Yeah.
It does a lot with it.
It's never the person's ability to make that art. It's more, oh, you just have the equipment that makes it good. Yeah.
A much better camera help, though.
I currently have downloaded literally every single Chronicle of Darkness art piece that they had free on the website, so that is fun.
There's some really sweet fan art out there. So there's a guy who just makes Timisi art. This guy, his name is on DeviantArt. Oh, the file now has it, but it's on the phone. You can't see it that well. You can't find the file. Someone ever left the group.
What?
Said that Everett left the group. Wait, did you mean the character, or did you mean your character next session? He didn't say anything.
Everett, he effectively left the group. He said that he accepted his character's death and whatnot.
I was wondering what exactly that meant, if he was just hiring a character or leaving the group wholesale.
I mean, literally it said, I'm not making a new character is what he said.
Oh.
That's exactly what he said.
Yeah.
I didn't know any of that, but yeah.
Yeah, nobody literally said that though. Nobody as in the storyteller, not nobody as in nobody.
Yeah. I'm confused.
Well, welcome back, folks. Any clarifications I can make?
We were just. I was wondering what exactly happened to Everett. I didn't know if he was tying the character or leaving the group. Abner told me.
Aha. Okay. All right. So, with all hell having effectively not only hit the fan but torn through each and every blade there is, with Abner, would you be so kind as to go ahead and one-third of your humanity plus your willpower for me, please?
Got it. I'm fully aware of what this roll is, but let's see here. Let's see. Remaining willpower. That's not good. What about the next one? That's also not good. Let's see where this goes. And I cannot willpower that, so I hope 3 is enough.
Oh, it's silky smooth, silky smooth. Everything is perfectly fine. We've got this in the bag. So as you land with a life-affirming thunk and a near-heroic stance, the tumult and shock of landing knee to concrete and fist into ground as David becomes a realized, factual, actual person instead of the source of everything that will make the situation at least palatable, as he literally, in the matter of a blink of an eye, goes from prey to David, who is prey. That blink of realization gives you a moment of pause. You realize that in that split second that it took for you to leap upon him, or at least that being the beast's aim, you have managed to will yourself back into full control. And that full control, though thinly held, is enough to realize that to your right, barreling up the alley-like gangway, is a truck filled with other Knights of St. Judas. To your left is a lupine which is finishing the 14 or so Knights of St. Judas that had begun laying down fire against it, and has torn, savaged, and thoroughly ended their lives. The truck approaching, however, has every intention of running through where you are. David is just outside of its clip range. The Hellcat is just there ahead of David. Dami is braced in the door as all of this is taken in the blink of an eye. What is it that you're attempting to do?
I pick up David and book it.
All right. When you kind of roll strength and athletics.
Of course. Hey, it's better than the last one. 2 successes.
And it's an effective sneak attack against David. So that's not the issue. The issue is as you lift David up, as he's booking you toward the Hellcat, the truck takes your legs from beneath you. Go. Stop stealing. Sorry, my dog just came down. As you go ass overhead, tumbling forward, you have been hit harder. Can't remember when. There's nothing like being clipped by.
Quick question.
Yes.
I thought David was on the ground.
I was wrong in place.
Okay, I misunderstood that completely. I did not mean to pick him up then.
Well, it happened. Now I'm flying on the ground with you.
Yes, there is a tumult and a tumble, and the truck comes tearing through where you were, and only where you were, because as it clips you, you are of course sent sprawling and flying out of its path of progress. The driver has clearly watched 1 or 2 movies too much and think that maybe a well-aimed ramming attack will do the damage that the several dozens, if not more, bullets was unable to do.
No, don't choose life.
There's going to be 4 total damage. You go ahead and round that down. Would be 2 superficial as you go flying. David,
so 1 superficial and 2 and 1 aggravated. Got it.
David, as you are sent into the air, Abner having just saved you from being clipped, it takes you a second to realize that it was Abner, and because it's behind you, but as you realize that it was Abner that saved you from being clipped, as he and you tumble through the air with the greatest of ease, without the trapeze, you glimpse that the vehicle that he saved you from barrels into the lupine. There's literally 1 second of action. What is it that you're attempting?
Dave will try to brace himself to not break too many bones.
You have 100. about. You'll be fine. This is literally a fuck situation, because that 1 second of action is you scramble to your feet and keep from, you roll with the impact and keep from smashing down flat and breaking more bones and shattering tendons and all of that good stuff, keeping as much collateral damage from actually happening to yourself. Abner is a impossibility, because even hit and struck by the truck, sent ass over end, spiraling into the air, he lands with a grace that he should not be able to. And it is clear that something horrendous has broken inside, something that humans would not be able to have survived. But he isn't human, just like you, monster, and is able to grit through it. And then you hear the tearing of metal.
I say immediately, yeah, we need to run now.
Dami.
Fucking hell, Abner.
Dami, Dia,
By the way, at this point, I'm actually, the truck they're coming in, is it old military style troop transport with the ones with the gas tanks on the outside behind the wheel well?
No, unfortunately, it is an armored SUV. But I get what you're going for. You can always make that attempt. You can always try to shoot the gas tank and hope that there's enough empty air gap in it to cause a movie-like explosion.
I'll go for it. I'm gonna go for it. Steven.
All right, that being the case, would you be so kind as to grow your shooting from the hip, or are you gonna take the time to aim?
Taking the time to aim.
All right, would be so kind as to go ahead and roll your composure and firearms -3.
So if I use just shot from the hip, what would that be?
Dexterity of firearms still.
Can I go for a dexterity firearm? If my dexterity is a little higher than my composure.
Sure, shoot from the hip. Let's see what you get.
All right. Should have called a shot.
All right. So, several things happen at once. They tend to do in situations such as that. You move to a better vantage point and aim past David and Abner as they scramble towards the Hellcat. When you sight down your rifle and aim on the fly, you strike the vehicle, ripping a hole in its armor plating, which says a lot about whoever they had to armor their vehicle. You also see that while your shots were true to hit the vehicle, they weren't true enough to hit the gas tank. And there is a small sigh of as the gas-soaked, blood-soaked engine of destruction that is the lupine is tearing its way free of the armored vehicle. Literally doing so while tearing through the men inside, who are clearly armored as well. There's the image you had with Prince Decker, with the creature captured and tortured to within an inch of its unlife. And then there's this. This is hell. This is all of your sins given form. This is all of your anger and rage. This is all of your depression. This is everything that is nothing positive towards you. And as one of the few things that are not diving through windows, hiding behind garbage cans, or otherwise already dead, you know that you are now on the list. You can't always be first, but you very well will be next.
All right, did I waste enough time for everybody to get in the Hellcat?
David, Abner,
We tried to get in. I tried to get in.
okay. Dia is already in the back seat. And seeing Dami rush towards the speeding vehicle, is there anything that Dia is going to say, do, or otherwise hope to obtain?
She's looking at David. Throw me the keys. You can't drive.
Oh, good. We got someone that can actually drive for once. Just go. We cannot kill this thing easily.
Not for nothing, but it's a push start. You just press start.
I see the button and I look at it like
forward over the seat and hits the push start.
I look at the button like, what the fuck?
Is
Is this what modern technology is? What the fuck?
There are worse things than mindlessly driving away from the scene of carnage. One of them would be to not open the door for Dami, as he's standing in the path of an engine of destruction, which is tearing itself free of an armored SUV and will literally be on him with action. So what is it that you all are doing?
I.e., this might be a great time to open the door so I can get in so I'm not murdered horrifically.
I say we keep the door closed and let him die. I'm kidding. I open the door.
You know, worse decisions have been made.
I hop in and hope that we ride out.
All right, so there is a standard. I don't know if you guys realize what I wrote. That was the standard for the threshold. So, Dami, you need to roll a dexterity and athletics full-on outright dodge, and in doing so, you need to meet the threshold. You are and can be assisted by anyone else who says that they are attempting to assist, i.e. grab, pull, open the door, and those will add die. So, Dia, you're driving. Who's opening the door? The passenger door.
I will.
All right. Anyone attempting to pull Dami in?
Why not risk it for a chocolate biscuit? It's not like I can take any more damage. Oh wait,
Right.
death is the same.
Yeah, you've already died once. It's okay. The reason why I asked is because these will give Dami an additional die on his dodge. Now, the threshold has already been established.
Which side are they on? Are they on driver's side or passenger side?
Passenger side.
Because I was going to say, if they were on driver's side, I'd yank them through my window, but
I just yank him through my window as best I can.
All right, so that being the case, Dami, you will roll your dexterity and athletics, and you have a +2 due to the open door, due to Abner reaching through to try to pull you closer into the vehicle, and you must meet the threshold or the lupine is upon you. Give that a quick roll and let me know what you get. Okay, well, you did not, in fact, meet the threshold. However, you only missed it by a margin of 1. You can succeed at a cost, or you can take the missed grab, the stumble against the car instead of into the door, and deal with whatever is there in front of you.
No, I think I'll succeed at a cost. I think I'm gonna, yeah. I'm not gonna fight a lupine toe-to-toe. This ain't happening.
Nah, I think you can take it, totally.
Yeah, that's not happening this time.
So, because you missed it by a threshold of 1, there's naturally a +2. So we're going to do this. You're going to take 2 full aggravated as you stumble back, just missing the door before Abner grabs you and pulls you fully into the vehicle. Unfortunately, in that slight fumbling, you get raked by the lupine's claw as it attempts to bury its hand through you and take the car out in the process. Dami has never received any aggravated damage. He's never been wounded to the core of his very soul. That's exactly what happens in a matter of a few seconds. And luckily, just like in all of the best action movies of the 80s, you can say it's just a flesh wound, but it is just a flesh wound that almost killed.
I don't wait to find out whether he's all the way in the car or not. I'm throwing it in gear and getting the heck out of here.
I will. As we're driving off, I'm like, we can't take out a lupine. All of my research is on vampires. I don't know shit about these things other than that they're basically indestructible.
Like a shell
Deckard
silver.
told us. He gave us one of these silver knives.
So wait, silver actually works on these things? That was just a rumor we had.
No, it does. It does.
Don't light fire too much. Like Archon either.
Okay, so that's good to know. Good to know. We're still driving at this point, right?
Yes.
Oh no,
sure.
I have not stopped. I am going.
Alright, just make sure. Is the lupine no clothes on her tail?
That we will find out in a split second. I was letting you all have your moment. Get down to the crunch of it all. Now, in the matter of a few moments, your situation went from bad to worse, and it kept falling precipitously. You are in a different city than your home. Your success of this mission will signify the peace and prosperity of your home. It'll allow each of you enough space, time, and opportunity to become more and more of yourself. I.e., you'll be left the hell alone by the village government so that you can do what it is that you need to do. So failure in this mission will be social death for not only you, but Dolton itself. And you've already lost a member of your troop. You've also already poked the hornet's nest of a government agency or government aligned agency. You've managed to be at the site and scene of a new embrace. You've managed to be at the site and scene of a wild lupine attack, and most pressingly, the Hellcat has suffered bullet wounds and scrapes along its passenger door. Dia, would you be so kind as to roll your resolve and drive? And everyone else, while taking stock of themselves, both physically and mentally, roll your wits plus awareness.
Yay, something I'm actually good at. Oh no.
Do I have to use a rouse check if I'm going to use like a willpower, or can I just use a willpower?
You can use a willpower.
You're thinking of blood surge. Blood surge is completely different.
Okay, fair enough.
Tommy, wounded though you are, you still have the opportunity. If you like.
Sorry, I was kind of distracted for a second. Did it again?
If you like, you can go ahead and roll your witch.
My wits?
Correct.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay, wits rolled.
All right, so starting at the base, 1 success, and we're going to work our way up. So at 1 level, there's no way that these people are so blithely carrying on about the day. In the course of them carrying on about their in the course of them carrying on about their day, their night, you start hearing things like, "Oh my God, look at that dog! Oh my God, they have bears in the open in the city. What the fuck is that? That's not a bear, it's a puma. A mountain lion down here." And Dami, there's a huge speeding shadow that the vehicle is casting. Now, Hellcat is a hell of a car, but it causing a shadow to trail it with such width and breadth seems a little bit odd, to say the least.
Looking out, how far is that beast from the Hellcat?
What beast?
Oh, it's actually above us, huh? Okay. Lovely.
And Dia, you have it in your sights out of the rear view mirror. You look away for a split second and it seems to have disappeared. There is a huge shadow trailing the car as you speed away from this location. Do you have a destination in mind?
Well, the point we had made before about the fact that the rest of them don't know their way around doesn't really matter with me because I've been here before multiple times. So I would know a better way around, and I'm gonna do my best to pick up speed and weave my way through traffic without taking too much chances, but just like to try to put space between us and the thing chasing us.
No, completely understandable.
I'm gonna start tracking it because I want to. I'm going to try to slow it down, so I need to know where it is once you tell me when I can lock onto it.
Where are you attempting to head? Dia.
I know we're all staying at the hotel, but I don't know if I want to take this thing back towards where there's people at. Probably gonna head towards the football stadium.
Okay.
It should be empty right now, with no games going on and stuff.
Okay. And Abner, here's the thing that scares you more than anything else. You don't see ghosts. You don't see in the dark outside of the normal ability to do so. You don't see the mystical. That is one of the many lines that you've had for yourself. Why is it that as much of the outside noises and the people in the street and the fact that you're looking from one face to the next inside the car, that no one can seem to see it bearing down on you all?
So none of you can see this thing?
No, they can't.
Okay, so that's bad. Keep driving and how close is it to us?
Oh, it is within leaping distance. It shouldn't be able to run as fast as it is, but it seemingly has other ability.
I say out loud, okay, so we learned something new about lupines today. One, they are somehow able to do, well, that, and they're also able to go super fast, I say as I'm pulling out my ranged stake. As trying getting ready to shoot at it.
Did I find it yet?
No, unfortunately, your 2 successes is nowhere near the threshold. It literally disappeared. You are able to see a shadow or a shadow-like bird falling behind you all. There's just a moving shadow back behind the Hellcat as it speeds through courts, courtways and gangways, cutting through alleys and taking seemingly circuitous routes to pick up speed. You've never seen the Hellcat red line around a curve before, but somehow Dia is finding ways to push it faster and faster, and yet the shadow is still there. There's nothing back there but a shadow, but you can hear people on the street talking about a bear, a puma, or some other large beast somewhere there, but you can't see. And it's clear that you're not the only one who can't, because as well as Dia is maneuvering the vehicle, they haven't found a way to lose whatever that shadow is, whatever that beast is. But there's nothing there. So you can understand why there wouldn't be any evasive maneuvers made, because there's nothing there. Yet Abner is asking you and responding as if there's something there, as if it is still in fact there.
And like when you go past street lights or anything, nothing stops or breaks up the shadow.
Nope.
Abner, can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it. It's right there, I say as I'm trying to line up the shot, trying to slow the thing down.
I actually try to copy his aim, where his line of sight is, and I'm gonna put like a 3-round burst into whatever it is that he's telling me there is.
Okay. Abner, aiming as you have been, go ahead and pose your firearms. David, what is it that you're doing? Is they're hanging out of the side of the Hellcat as Dia whips the car as if they were born to run at Springsteen?
Quick question.
Yes.
Can I use one of my melee stakes? I'm just trying to slow this thing down. I know for a fact I can't hurt it.
Yeah, you definitely can.
All right, just double checking. Okay, this is going to end horrifically. Good luck, guys. That's what I thought.
I guess I'll fire off some blind shots at the shadow, hoping I hit something.
Nice. Shooting from the hip, or you're trying to aim just about where Abner was aiming?
I can't see it. I'll just fire.
All right, excellent. Roll for fire from the hip. Good, you so kind of make that dexterity and firearms happen. And Dami, you're doing much the same. Would you go ahead and make that same roll for me?
Okay, definitely.
And Dia, as you are sliding through the tunnel leading into the what you call the football field, which is actually a multi-purpose sports arena, is there anything that you're attempting to do otherwise? Because you are clearly flouting security. And strangely, the place is lit up. The arena, all of the lights are on. The floodlights lights are flooding the field. The seats, while empty, are being cleaned. There's janitorial crew up in the stands. There's a field crew working on the grass. There painters around the edges of the field. They're preparing for this weekend's game, and you finally hear it as Dami's 3-round burst hits it across the eye, causing it some semblance of pain. It is literally the culmination of several different world-ending injuries that it has suffered, and it's tiring, and it is finally beginning to run out of steam.
So basically what I'm going to do is just keep at speed, but I'm going to circle the parking lot. I'm going to run it down until it's tired and it stops chasing us.
That though.
I'm just, as soon as the stake is launched and it does whatever it does, I immediately say, this motherfucker is fast.
Yeah, that's why I try to stay away from these things.
Yeah, good plan.
And here's the thing of it all. The worst thing of it all. The thing that, someone who is used to be on stage, being the most important or most visible person around you, Dia doesn't really care about the cameras. Really, Dia doesn't care about the police state. They like the attention that they are able to affect, because there's always someone somewhere who can see them. When Dami and David entered into the city, that was the first thing that stood out to them, the police state. With as paranoid as Abner is, it was just Tuesday for him. It is what they do. It is, people are watchful and paranoid. So he operates as if there is always a camera nearby. It is only in situations like this where that constantly monitored state of being throughout the bulk of the city has any currency in the moment. Because you should have heard sirens, should have heard police cars, should have had the presence of agents galore. Instead, what you have is what looks to be the blonde Norse version of Conan, screaming with its dead lungs as 5 other nondescript kindred come barreling out. And this is the part that makes it so much worse. They come barreling out of a helicopter. They come lay-low jumping out of a helicopter into the field, to this parking lot around this lupine. The blonde-haired Conan knockoff is literally holding a fighting axe, a bearded axe, a single-handed bearded axe, and a long sword. The clearly feminine figure is holding 2 submachine guns, firing at it. The others have various mixes of edged weaponry and firearms, and they are charging forward. It is only in the edges of the fracas that you see that one of the other 5 is actually Prince Jackson himself, and he's holding 2 tomahawks, not modern Home Depot tomahawks used for getting rid of pernicious shrubbery, but clearly aged and well used tomahawks made of some pseudo rock-like substance. And they are flailing and hacking, and it is a blur of frenetic motion as they are literally chopping at this thing and shooting at this thing and wounding this thing as if they're taking down a giant redwood. Do you all remain in the...
I mean, I'm gonna skid to a halt since they're in between us and that thing. And I'm a little shocked that helicopters and stuff happen, so yeah.
I'm staying the hell away.
Yeah, I can see that, yeah. I'm only down to my 9mm and whatever's left in this clip, so yeah.
David, you broke up from me. What was your suggestion?
I said I'm staying the hell away.
Same. Because
I'm gonna watch.
as soon as we start slowing down, I'm like, what are you doing? Why are we slowing down?
Because that's the prince and we need to know who wins this battle?
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'd rather not deal with a giant werewolf at the moment.
They got him. They got him.
Let's hope they got him, because otherwise we need to start running again.
Well, I can tell you.
Besides, weren't you sent here for a reason? You were supposed to be looking for his daughter or something like that?
Oh, yeah. Something about horses. Does that mean anything to y'all?
Actually, new question. Who the hell are you?
I'm the person they sent to make sure you guys don't fuck up. But I guess I got here late because you've already fucked up.
Yeah, because apparently Everett was abducted. I had to try to break him out. And then this happened. I don't even know how a werewolf came to be at this point, actually.
Well, from what I could tell, that werewolf got here because they were one of the soldiers. But I could be wrong.
When a mommy werewolf and a daddy werewolf love each other.
Don't make fucking jokes right now. We are dealing with a literal war machine killing people and trying to kill us. By the way, I'm watching the fight as I'm complaining. How is it looking?
The best way to describe what is taking place there is a war. There's nothing that will be easy nor bloodless, and it is definitively far from it. They are hitting it with enough force that you can hear the impact from where you all are. There is no good that can come of whatever is happening there. And as you all sit and watch, several things become immediately aware. One, what it was that Dami and David set into motion. Two, the very real fact that Dolton is depending on you to be successful and seal the deal. Three, while everyone has their own take as to the status quo and how to proceed, and while Dia had a soft welcoming into the city, they have not officially met Prince. Neither has Abner. So there has been no lead given for them to actively be here, let alone be at the site of not one, but two full-out wars. And in this case, sitting there without helping.
I'm at this point getting bored and just going to try to take another shot.
I don't know if you should cross Prince like that.
I'm trying to stake the fucking werewolf. I got nothing else. I use stakes. What do you think I got?
If you hit one of his posse, you're mega dead.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to hit a fucking werewolf. There's a giant werewolf. Are you telling me you don't want to try to help these guys? Or, I don't know, try to kill the werewolf?
He captured one alive and tortured it for days. I think he can handle it.
Why?
Because that's what gets them off. Who cares?
He really hates them.
You know what? Fucking don't care. Just, do we have any silver?
Yeah, here.
I have a silver knife also.
Give me the silver knife. I'm going to try to make a makeshift. This is going to end horrifically, I say, as I'm trying to stitch together one of my stakes with this knife. This does not end well. I know this for a fact.
No, it wouldn't.
Question for you. I know I can't call the spirit towards me, but insight, could this possibly be where that child was talking about?
This? No, not specific. However, there's a very real aha moment for you as you've looked over the tablet and you know that it is from Marquette University, which is where this field is connected with. You are on the northwestern edge of the Marquette University. The campus that stretches and winds through the eastern edge of downtown, the mid-northeastern edge of downtown. A tablet that has been better treated and drier than having been stashed in a coat is from Marquette University.
You can
Yeah, all of that was
I'm going to ask Thea, can you take us where I can find this? The horses is where the princess' daughter. Does that mean anything to you?
No, this football team is Colts, if I remember correctly. Horses.
We need to get there that we can wrap this whole thing up because that's where she's at.
Okay. So Dia puts the car in gear and slowly, so as not to call too much attention to them, makes their way out of the parking lot towards the university. More proper. And yeah.
Where are we going? I didn't hear well. Sorry.
We're going to try to wrap this up if we're lucky.
Okay, Dami, I actually did not hear you.
Trust us, we just gotta go take care of something. We'll be back, hopefully.
Okay, I think I heard you that time. We're trying to take care of something.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, quick question. Is it a werewolf?
No, but we might be able to save a princess if we're lucky.
Okay, continue.
Dia, would you be so kind as to go ahead and roll your intelligence and either etiquette or occult, whichever is higher. This would have been considerably easier with a mirror. However, luckily for you,
Storyteller, I think you cut out.
and taking people as they are and engaging in several
I think you cut out again because you just stopped talking.
Yeah, I did. Sorry about that. Yeah, I stopped talking, but I'm experiencing some technical difficulties. 1 second.
So did you hear about that one dude that did the thing in the thing at the place?
I heard about the dude who did the thing, but I'm not sure about the place.
Oh, really? Maybe it was the...
All right, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I'm experiencing technical difficulties, so we're going to do a slightly quicker wrap. It would have been easier with having a Tremere, which is the reason which was the purpose that Everett served. However, Dia, being a well-connected member of higher society, involving themselves with kindred society, both in Dolton and several other places, is aware that being at Marquette University, there is a member of the Tremere that resides at Marquette University, a Miss Green, a Miss Tess Green. Dia knows them from associating several different alternative clubs and that lifestyle. Club kids for the most part, but with a bent towards not being part of the typical community. Being on campus with Marquette University immediately makes Dia aware that there is a high-ranking social of Chantry that operates out of Marquette University. Would they share that information with the rest of the troop?
Yes, as they're pulling out their phone and dialing their friend.
Interesting.
Can't say I'm surprised, but didn't see that one coming at the same time.
Well, tit for tat. No such thing as coincidence. This is very much the antithesis of a coincidence. The very real fact is that as Dia began speaking about the local warlock that associates on and Cat area, part of what JW had mentioned previously comes to the fore for both David and Dami, having been the two to receive the actual communication and accepting the actual mission, as it were, mind honor. You all, strangely enough, receive a backstage pass as it to a very well kept secret, to most, and that's that the Clan of the Rose, the Deviants, have their fingers in various other pies and have connection with various other organizations amongst the damned. The exchange of conversation sounds all to the world like the stereotypical, "Hey girl, I haven't seen you in such a long time. How are you doing? Are you in?" "Yes, I'm in, but I probably need to step out. There's a lot of trouble happening somewhere near here." "Oh, really? You don't say?" "Well, and it seems to all the world like two girlfriends or two friends who haven't spoken with each other in a very long time. As Dia ends the call, realize that they barely know each other personally, but know of each other from several social gatherings.
If I have to listen to that one more time, I might turn my crossbow against myself. I say it loud.
Or you could just do it anyway, because apparently you don't like being here. You jumped off buildings, want to fight werewolves. What's one more little accident? I mean, I can even hit the brakes for you.
I say as I I look at you and say, "Smartassery is going to get you a steak. You know that, right?"
Better than you have tried, darling.
Good for the goose is good for the gander. It's
I ran at that werewolf. That was a bad call right there. I wouldn't have ran at the wolf. That would be smart.
As you all pull to a stop in the faculty parking lot on the southeastern side of the campus near the philosophy and STEM building, standing outside is a decently tall, curvy woman, glasses, light strawberry blonde hair, dark brown eyes with a hint of green flecks to them. She's dressed surprisingly in the fact that she's wearing a loose t-shirt and slightly baggy jeans. Her hair, if you bother to notice, has a slight dampness to it, even as the hair tie is keeping it out of her face. While her voice over the phone sounded warm and inviting, it is clear that they would much rather be anywhere and everywhere where they are meeting you. Who gets out?
Well, Dia would get out, obviously, because they're the one that called.
Abner gets out as well.
Dom gets out. David keeps the car running.
To cut out, but I said I'll get out too.
Yeah, we're heading. Discord is playing games with us now. So as you all approach the freshly showered and clearly otherwise occupied Miss Green, it is clear several things. Social interaction is a currency that is best used by those who understand it. It's like Bitcoin farming. Having it is never enough, and not having it is far. Dia, I must admit that I'm surprised that you called. Are you and Nicole holding another enterprise up this way?
Unfortunately, darling, I am not here for play this time. I wish, and you know as soon as I do, you are most definitely invited. But tonight, we have a bit of a different mission. My friend there, and she points back to Dami, has something from one of the students possibly here that they would like to return, and we need to know where they are. If you could help us out. Of course.
Should be so kind as to go ahead and roll charisma and subterfuge. Charisma and persuasion while we continue. With that introduction abreast, what is it that's going on with Dami?
He has no idea what's going on, but he knows something is more happening than what's being shown. But because he doesn't know much of social interactions, he doesn't know enough to not know enough. So he just knows something's happening. And as long as Dia is kind of knowing what's going on, he's willing to let her run the show.
Let her run the show. Let them run the show. That's the issue. We're just introduced as the point person. What is it that you're saying?
This belonged to a princess, and I kind of wanted to return it to her. Can you help me with that?
Looking from Dia to you. If it wouldn't have been impolite, you could tell there would have been a growl of significantly than a nuance. So, just so that I don't get this confused, you went all the trouble to find that, and you want to get it back to her.
Yes, and also to hand it to her personally, if at all possible.
She looks at Dia again. Listen, child. A friend just doesn't rat out a friend's hiding place. Now, I know that the prince is probably tugging your leash and making you jump to his orders. Don't really matter anyway. But best I can tell, if you want to return it personally, you're not going to be able to do that anywhere in Milwaukee. Pretty much, I look almost any place where the ivory tower don't really have a shrine, and somewhere that you could probably get in a car or a bus instead of somewhere you got to fly or train. You know, Decker has his fingers in all of those sorts of travel arrangements. Though, you know, Dia, if I were you, and I'm not, I don't have a primogen in my corner or a primogen that breathes down my neck or other intimate things. My best guess, if I really had to guess about anybody, it's either St. Louis or Indianapolis. But I really don't know anything more than that. It was clear that she had planned on getting the hell out of Dodge. You can kind of see it, you know. You know the look. Someone who's looking out the back door. She definitely had that.
I look to Dami and see what his thoughts on this are. Does he want to take that at face value, whether or not that this person left on their own, or whether we still think that there was foul play involved, so that I know how to wrap this up with my contact.
Taking a step back, he kind of walks back towards the Hellcat. Hopefully, not really out of like hearing range, but like he just kind of says, "That's not really what the spirit told me, though. The spirit told me that he's watching over her. She's with the horses, and he was terrified for her. So I don't know how she would have just left all on her own. That doesn't make sense because the spirits don't lie, especially because of the spirit of her younger brother. That doesn't just logically make sense. I don't understand why, because the spirits don't lie." I'll go ahead and open up her tablet. Is there anything that I can glean off of it that would kind of give us a clue? Because something just isn't adding up.
When you, well, remember, you didn't have any power. You kept from the back of it. You still have it run power through it to turn it on.
Okay, so as he's saying that, then I'm thinking back over what she said about places they might have gone to. You say Indianapolis, and it clicks in their head even further. She's not here. Indianapolis. You have to go to Indianapolis.
Oh, great.
Well, let's pile in and get to Indianapolis, but this car is definitely going to have to get fixed.
Why Indianapolis? Tessa says, as you all are speaking.
Looks at Dami.
I don't care. I'm just curious. You know that it gets the best of me sometimes.
Something about horses. was stated before. And Colts, horses, Indianapolis, it makes sense.
Oh boy. Just let's get this over with.
Well, I'm good with Indianapolis. I don't think there's lupines there, so I'm good with that.
I swear to God, if we see another werewolf, I would rather die.
I will die if you see another one.
Oh, don't worry. If y'all run into any loop,
You cut out again.
Gia leans in and whispers to Tess.
hot.
You cut out a lot, storyteller.
Yeah, I'm experiencing technical difficulties, and it's just not. It's just not.
You keep cutting out at it's just not.
Might just be trailing off mid-sentence there. Oh, he knows I was quite wrong with it.
All right, is that a little? That's hear me.
No, storyteller, I think you're having a real off night. You're getting like a couple syllables.
All right. Well, that being the case, can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. So we're gonna do a quick blitz on this and draw us to a close. The idea is that you all have a destination. You have an end point for this leg of the trip, and there is a stat fact that it is a leg of the trip. And Tess leaves you all with several warnings, several hints and based on what she knows as to your survivability. If it comes to a lupine, she is clearly both making fun and providing as much insight as she actually knows how to. You all head where? Getting to Indianapolis is a 7-hour drive from where is your first place to stop, to alight, to find a place to rest?
Our best bet is to go back to the hotel for the night because everything is there. Their stuff is probably at the hotel. Her things were at the hotel. And we can rest for the night and start fresh the next night.
Yep. I agree with the hotel. I say that as I get in the car back into Hellcat, I say out loud, this night can literally not get any worse.
We should also take my Bronco in Indianapolis instead of the banged up Hellcat.
Yeah, I can go ahead and get it cleaned up and get it fixed while we take the Bronco. That's a good call.
Yep, good call. That reminds me, where were you guys most of the night?
We were investigating, and some other crap happened that very unfortunate.
Do I want to know?
You would definitely not.
You can tell me tomorrow. Let's just go to the hotel.
Hotel works for me.
All right, guys. And with that, we draw to a close, settling their spaces in the hotel, packing guns, next night's rouse and departure. And as Dami and David, having already prepped their space to settle and begin going to security measures, are sure the door is locked. Is anyone else sharing their space?
So, anyone else not hear that?
Dami
I got
and David
you.
are setting up their space in the room that they already have. He asks, is there anybody else sharing their space? Dia would not share their space. She has her own room.
Abner is also not sharing his space. He is sleeping in the nearest closet, away from everyone.
I mean, that can work.
Works
We
for
only
me.
have 2 beds anyways.
Actually, we have 2
Okay.
rooms, but whatever.
I say out loud, don't wake me up. Don't wake me up tomorrow. I'll find you guys.
Oh.
Okay.
All right. And with everyone separating to their spaces and closing down for the night, day death to fall over them. It is unnerving that a young Asian woman in glasses walks David and Dami's bathroom. And with that, we end. Thank you all. See you all next week as we begin our by every other week sessions. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. See you guys.